And like any other muscle, it requires magnesium for normal, healthy function. Hey everybody. In today's show, we're going to talk about the top 5 health benefits of magnesium. So the very first top health benefit would be stress management. Magnesium is extremely important for healthy brain function. A lack of dietary magnesium may contribute to an increase in stress, which in turn may impact magnesium levels. So we are definitely living in, a very high stressful environment, a high stress time. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out here who have contributed to, depleted levels of magnesium and should replenish their bodies with that mineral so that way we can counteract the effects of stress. The actual opposite of stress is relaxation. That's what I'm all about. Less stress, because stress is one of the causes of all disease. It's very important that we prevent it opposed to trying to cure it. It's a lot easier to prevent, trust me when I tell you, than it is to try to cure something. Because when you gotta cure something, you gotta stop everything that you're doing really at the last minute and immediately change these habits overnight that you created years ago. It took years to create these bad habits that created this disease in your body. So preventive maintenance is key. Let's go ahead and get our magnesium in for stress management. The next benefit will be for heart health. Now, this subject is near and dear to my heart, no pun intended, because the main reason why I became a vegan years ago. I'm not a vegan now, but for a really long time, I dealt with, not a long time, I just noticed at 27, I had chest pains and heart palpitations, and I was told that I was pre-hypertensive and had high cholesterol at 27. And so I just cut out all meat, all cholesterol, because meat is cholesterol on a fork. And I went raw vegan and started getting my minerals in the form of superfoods and things like that. And my blood pressure normalized, and so did my cholesterol. But from time to time, I still feel a little heart palpitation from time to time. When I don't get my minerals in, I can't just not take the minerals. I just can't. So magnesium is one of the things that I use for that reason, because your heart is a muscle, and like any other muscle, it requires magnesium for normal, healthy function, and it plays a role in muscle contraction and relaxation. So you need calcium to contract the muscles, but you also need magnesium, like we said, to relax the muscles. And that's what a heartbeat consists of: contraction, relax. Contract, relax, contract, relax. So you're going to have both calcium and magnesium in your system for that to happen, in a healthy way. People have too much calcium, it'll go to contract and then it won't relax, and then no blood flow is going through your body, and no oxygen is getting to your brain, and end up with a heart attack or a stroke. That's never good. And heart disease is the silent killer, so we might want to get on top of that beforehand, because like I said, preventive maintenance is just awesome. What do they say? 1 ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm all about. Gotta make it easier for me, The next benefit will be for blood pressure. And, I spoke briefly about that in regards to myself, but the experts at Harvard Medical School list magnesium as one of the key minerals for healthy blood pressure. It's because magnesium helps blood vessels relax, like I said beforehand. It's important in blood pressure regulation, and it supports healthy blood pressure levels already within the normal range. I'm not saying, this is a cure for people with high blood pressure. Be sure to go see your doctor and everything like that. But if you already got your levels right, it's a good thing to keep the party going and maintain your levels, because as time progresses, we do become depleted of these minerals, and we just have to, replenish them and keep them in your body on a consistent basis. I just noticed that when I didn't have my calcium magnesium combination, I remember running out of calcium. Normally I just go ahead and buy it, but I thought, I feel like I could just go without it for a moment. I got everything else, and my heart heart, started feeling like chest pain, not chest pain, well, a little bit, but more so than anything, like heart palpitations. And it's scary, and it was happening more than, you know, every once in a while, like throughout the day. And I said, nah, let me go ahead and buy this calcium real quick. So I went on ahead and bought the calcium. Having that magnesium calcium combination, then like a couple days, the palpitations went away. So I promised myself that I'll never let that happen again. Bioregularity. Some people may experience sluggish digestion, which may lead to occasional constipation. Now, since magnesium is needed to relax your muscles, including those in the intestinal wall, people realize that some magnesium salts draw water into the intestinal tract and facilitate bowel movements. Magnesium citrate and glycinate are more bioavailable and aid in improving magnesium levels. And if you know me, you already know that bioregularity is near and dear to my heart. It's very important because I had an issue with that for years, and it did affect my stress levels because it was painful. I had an attitude, and and that's not the frequency that I want to be on. We'll get into that later. So there's different ways you can increase your magnesium intake. Simple ways. Dark leafy greens are an excellent form of magnesium. You can get it in several ways by eating your broccoli, your Swiss chard, your kale, a nice kale salad. I make the best kale salad with the lemon juice and the olive oil and the Himalayan crystal salt. It is on point. It's a real good way, and garlic as well. And it's just a great way to get your kale in. It's real tasty. Whole grains are an excellent way to get your magnesium in as well. I used to eat a bowl of oatmeal every day just to kind of keep the weight on, but it's definitely really good for the heart. Nuts are an excellent form of magnesium as well. It's an easy way to get in nuts. Have them on the go. The best way to get magnesium from nuts will be in the raw form. When you roast nuts, you're going to lose the life force and the magnesium and all the other minerals that are included in the thing. So you don't want that. So a lot of people, they take cashews or macadamia nuts or almond, and they'll soak it and they'll make like a nice cashew cheese. It's a good vegan way to get your cheese in, or your nuts and your magnesium in, by figuring out, nice creative ways to alchemize these foods and get them in your body. Some people take cashews, they soak them and make a nice cheesecake with some sweetener and a nice crust and everything like that, and it sets overnight in the refrigerator. Beans are an excellent form of magnesium, and I make a real good pot of pinto beans, black beans, and red beans. Bomb, okay? I like to put like coconut milk and roasted tomato sauce in my beans. Oh my God, it's so good like that. Black beans are good too. I perfected it within the last year or so. I realized I don't need all the seasonings. I just need salt and a little chipotle, a nice chipotle pepper. Then I blend up in some little cumin and some pepper. You get to go, and it's bomb like that. Legumes. I love me some black-eyed peas. Now, I always put coconut milk in my black-eyed peas. Just takes it to the next level, and coconut oil is always good for the skin, nails, hair, the body just in general. Your body loves it. But it doesn't, overpower it by like putting like coconut oil in it. So by putting, coconut milk in it, you're getting the best of both worlds. Just a little bit of the coconut oil in there from the naturally occurring coconut flakes, but it's not too much. And it also gives it that fat, that it's a good, nice mouthfeel that coconut milk adds to the party. And I liken it to people putting lard or Crisco or whatever, or mainly lard in their beans to give it that mouthfeel and creaminess and that thickness. When the starch busts out of the bean or out of the black-eyed pea and contributes to that nice little gravy going on, ooh, it is good over some rice. You can't beat it, man. Making me hungry right now. Raw cacao beans. Now, this is one of my favorite foods to consume. When it's time to second ferment my kombucha, I make sure that I make a batch in like a nice mason jar with cacao bean in there. It's great for cramps. I'm a person that has been dealing with like really bad cramps ever since I started my cycle, and up until recently, within recent years, I just stopped having like the really bad flare-ups because I just been monitoring my diet and removing, toxins from my body and stop putting it back in. But from time to time, I'll try something that my body didn't like, and it reacts in the form of like really bad cramps, and I just don't like to deal with that, you know. So raw cacao is excellent. It's chock full of magnesium, like tons of magnesium. It has to be in this raw form though. It can't be cooked, all right? Because like I said, it demineralizes and kills all the minerals in the food. You don't want that, you know. What's the point of spending all that money and not getting what you actually, you know, bought it for? And your uterus is a muscle, and what's happening is it's contracting and contracting. You want it to relax. So I put cacao bean or cacao nibs in my chocolate. My kombucha, and I let it steep for a day or two and pull all of the medicinal properties out of the cacao, and I leave it in the kombucha. Sometimes I add turmeric and cinnamon and red chili flakes because all of them are synergistic with cacao. But also at the same time, when you add chili peppers or any type of pepper, some kind of heat, it automatically drives the medicine deeper into your cells because it dilates your capillaries. And I be wanting it all the way in. You know what I mean? I want it deep, and I want the cramps to be over and done with as quick as possible. You know what I mean? I do that, and then I add a couple more things to my shot of kombucha on that day. And that's really the only time I have chocolate, is when I'm having like really, really bad cramps. So that jar really does last a really long time. Several months. I make a large vat of kombucha, about a half a gallon. That lasts me 6-7 months. I don't have to deal with that for too often. You know what I mean? Because I don't really particularly care to make it. I make it because I have to. It keeps me alive. It's just amazing. And I'm actually going to produce a video on how to actually make kombucha, so you guys can enjoy it yourself, and then throw some, cacao nibs and add it to the party, so you can be able to witness the magic that is raw chocolate. Raw cacao butter is actually the same thing, same properties, but I don't put it on my skin. Even though I like to smell like chocolate, it smells divine. I don't put it on my skin because I have dry skin on my body, and I don't want to dry it out anymore. Well, it's not dry anymore. Maybe in the winter months, it gets a little drier. But I've been, taking my emollients and lubricating my skin from the inside out and the outside in, so I'm not as dry as I used to be. But I know that when I do take cacao butter and use it as a moisturizer, it does dry me out. But it's also other ways you can get it in. You can just take a nice chunk of it, throw it in your smoothie along with the raw cacao powder and make a nice chocolate smoothie. It's really good actually to eat it all the time. You just want to limit the amount of chocolate you eat, because it can very well turn into a situation where it can make you angrier than normal. And that's not the frequency that I want to be on. So I only use it when I need it, Cacao butter blends beautifully with other chocolates that you're making. It blends beautifully with cannabis. There's a bliss hormone in cacao called anandamide. I can't say it. Hold on, let's see. Okay, I don't know if y'all see this. All right, the research provides the first link between oxytocin, dubbed the love hormone, and anandamide, which has been called the bliss molecule, for its role in activating cannabinoid receptors in brain cells to heighten motivation and happiness. That's why a lot of people smoke weed, you know what I mean? Because it's, giving them that, that bliss that people just need so much, especially around this day and age. It's very, very stressful. People are reaching for things that may not necessarily be the best thing for them to induce relaxation and bliss and the love hormone. And so I'm here to tell you that magnesium more than likely will be your best fit, and an occasional raw chocolate candy bar from time to time will really, really do the trick. Chlorophyll-rich green foods are an excellent form of magnesium. You can also get it in the form of chlorophyll. You can just, buy it, or you can get it in the form of juice or wheatgrass or sunflower sprouts, barley grass. I get my barley grass in the form of a powder in my green food. Got a bunch of different ones. Let me show you which one I use. This right here is the truth. All right. You see all these grasses? Wheatgrass, alfalfa leaf, barley grass, nettle leaf, and moringa and stuff. So I like to get it all in one, situation. I don't need to, isolate. I already take enough stuff as it is. So if I can, consolidate my steps all the more better, you know. Kelp is also an excellent form of magnesium. I like to eat them like this, but I also like to make a nice dashi broth and soak it overnight, and all of the minerals end up in the water. I infuse it and, you know, steep it or let it simmer down for a moment. And once I've gotten it nice and simmered, what I end up doing is I remove the kelp, like what this dude is doing, and then I add that broth to my beans and different soups, different stocks, whatever. And it's a great way to get the minerals in, but also at the same time, it adds umami to the party. Umami is the truth, okay? It makes your food taste better, and you won't even know what it is, but you know it tastes good though. All right. If you're finding value in this so far, feel free to smash that like button, share with all your friends and your family on Facebook, all your social media, Instagram, all of that, so we can get the word out. If you happen to have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the chat box and I'll get to you momentarily. Sea vegetables is also an excellent form of magnesium. Spinach. Now, spinach is a really good beginner vegetable. Like if you're not really all that into vegetables, you throw some spinach in a blender with some juice, like something citrus or something like that. You won't even taste the spinach. Bunch of fruit and stuff until you're able to withstand greens. And also it's a good idea to do that for kids too, just to kind of sneak greens into their diet, into their body. Throw the spinach in there because it's very mild. You can actually blend that up in a chocolate smoothie and no one will ever know the difference, okay? No one will ever know that you done put spinach in some chocolate and stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, trust me, stick with the kid. I know what I'm talking about. It'll blow your mind. Let's see. All right. So another way I like to get my magnesium in, because you know most Americans don't get enough through vegetables because vegetables have been depleted over the years, because the soil's been depleted. Even when it's organic will be way more minerals than a conventional vegetable, but it's still not optimal, so we gotta supplement it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you should just not eat your veggies, you should just take a supplement. Also not saying take a supplement and not eat your veggies, or take your veggies and not eat your supplement. You should do both, and that's what I do. I get my magnesium in the form of a supplement by Natural Vitality, and it's called Calm. And it's apropos because it does calm the senses. It's very relaxing because, like we said earlier, magnesium is a muscle relaxant, and it's necessary. It's something I take every single day. I put it in my kombucha and going about my business. So how does magnesium relate to the law of attraction? Well, if you want the universe to send you a matching frequency, it's best to consume electrolytes and neurotransmitters that make your body relaxed and your mind. You have to embody this feeling before it crystallizes in your physical reality. Since magnesium is needed to relax your muscles, magnesium is one of the best minerals to have in your bag of tricks. So like I said, I add it to my shot of kombucha every single day. So that way, you know, I'm transmitting the frequency that I want to be on. You know, I oscillate the way I want. You determine what comes in next by how you're feeling right now, you know, one moment at a time. And people say, you know, it's about how you react to things and don't let this person bother you. And we are human, you know what I mean? And we all have emotions and we all have triggers. And it's really hard, really challenging to maintain your attitude when, you know, there's some seemingly foul things going on in your life. It's a bit of a challenge. So by taking neurotransmitters and electrolytes that are full of these minerals, telling my brain how I want to feel, which then tells my body how to feel, it's a lot easier for me to manage because it's happening automatically. You know, I don't have to think about it. So I'm constantly oscillating on this frequency that I want to be on, that I want to see in the future. And that is the trick right there. So before I leave you all, I'm going to leave you guys with the quote of the day. So there's a lot of things going on in this world, you know, and I feel like people want to change some things. But opposed to pointing the finger at someone else, why don't we point the finger at ourselves and figure out what we can change from within, you know? So you must be the change you want to see in the world. So in other words, life changes are inevitable. We can initiate personal change so we can rise to the challenge and become a bigger and better person as a result. And as we do that, we begin to change the world one person at a time. All of this is a reflection. So if you want your physical reality to appear one way and you want to feel a certain way, then you have to embody that beforehand. You got to be the change that you want to see in this world. You know, a lot of people are pointing the finger, telling people how to, that they need to change. Let me tell you something right now. People don't change unless they want to. It takes some real work to change. Okay, people have to just be willing to do the work, one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. Well, first you got to recognize that there is an issue, and decide whether or not you want to make that change, and make a conscious effort. It takes 22 days to create a habit, but it takes 30 days to break them. And we got a lot of bad habits that we've accumulated over the years. The Matrix has been force feeding this way of life and way of thinking for quite some time, and we got to take some time to shed it. I spent my 30s doing that. So in my 40s, I'm going to apply all of these things that I learned and change, apply the changes that I've made and just continue to ascend and be the light bringer. You know what I mean? So I'm actively doing the work. But how about you? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take 52 days straight of consistent effort, changed behavior, and most people aren't that consistent. So that's why I don't believe that most people do change. I know that it's possible because I've changed. I feel like I've come a long way, and there's always room for growth and improving, and I'm always going to do that. I'm going to focus on doing that. I'm not perfect, but I do strive for perfection. You know what I mean? So be the change that you want to be, man, and this world will change over time. It's going to take some time. It took some time for us to get here. It's going to take some time for us to change it, but it can be done nonetheless. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. This is my very first stream. I got the jitters out the way. I was pretty scared, but I got it. You got to face your fears, you know what I mean? And I did it. If you happen to have any questions, let me know. You can either email me, you can just leave it in the comment box. I will make sure that I read all the comments, and I do respond to the comments, and we can engage and we can chat, and I can add this as an additional segment, Q&A, and we can go from there. But until then, I'm just going to leave it where it is. A little bit of education, a little bit of, motivation, a little bit of inspiration, and I'll bounce and go on about my business. But if you really do want to talk to me, as long as it's, respectful, and I'm a goddess, and I do know my worth, and do know my value, I will not be disrespected. You will not be talking about, like explicit stuff. YouTube ain't playing that, and neither am I. But as long as within reason, we can always chat, and I'll shout you out in the next upcoming episodes, and then we can have a real dialogue and create a community. That's really what I want to do. So if you found value in this, smash the like button, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.